you know, I didn't want to be sick. I had to go out and cop.
How about the times you detoxed?
There was nothing I could have done about it.
How about the times that you detoxed, that you had cleaned up and still went back?
It just seems like, you know, I needed something. Like, I need something for doing drugs for 5, 6 years, you know, all the time, having them in your body, you know. It's like a day-to-day thing, you know.
Well, I'm set now. I feel like I'm facing up to the problem. See, before I figured I could control the problem, you know, on my own. I get out in the street and shoot drugs just when I wanted to. But I realize now I can't shoot drugs when I want to, because when I shoot up once, I'm gonna just keep on doing it. And the habit is bringing me down.
For example, I identify myself as a Chicano, and my upbringing, as the word is used, Mexican-American, is much different. I've had many dealings that I'm sure some people have never dealt with, and these feelings make me to be who I am. And for me to communicate with another person that is not from the same background, I think we're going to have problems in communicating.
You say take this in our community here for a white counselor to really counsel, I mean, knock the slits from under a dude, you know, tell a dude when he's playing a game. Tell a dude if he's gaming, man, I don't want to hear that shit. But see, if I tell him that, it would be one thing. He could take it, you see. But then if a white counselor would tell him that, he could put a whole lot of other things into it. The counselor's prejudice, you know, or he doesn't know anything about being black.
Okay, let's deal with irritation.
Okay, let's deal with irritation.
I noticed that Sergeant all used the word colored quite a bit. I'd just like to ask him, is there any reason why you use the word colored? Blacks do refer to themselves as blacks. The Air Force recognizes it, and it's in your literatures now. So I was just wondering, what is it you use colored? I just like
I think that's just cultural background. I didn't even think about it. I was taught to use the word colored rather than black or Negro, and I used colored.
We do have particular problems that the counselor wouldn't probably be hip to.
I know between me and my teenage son, he says many times, he said, "Dad, you don't understand me." Well, it's not that I don't understand him, it's just that I don't know how to tell him that I understand him.
I can take more off of somebody else than I can off my own child. Because I could see, you know, like I spent a lot of time with him and all kind of different situations where we'd sit down just in the bathroom and talk, or we'd sit down before we go to sleep and we'd talk. And I'd relate my history to him. I'd relate other people's history to him and tell him, you know, that you cannot use drugs and be successful in anything. And then when he doesn't get that gets me uptight. And then when you get uptight, you know, I'm saying, like, he's not just somebody I know. This is part of me. And he's hurting himself, so I can't keep my feelings out of it.
Now, you're going to be assigned to group therapy nights, have to come in and take urine, job interviews, personal counseling and whatnot. And there's going to be a lot of times that you're not going to feel like getting up out of bed. Or it might be raining outside when you might not come to group. You might not feel like coming to group. How are you going to deal with that?
It's basically I have to do a little rethinking.
But you don't seem to be that determined, man. To you, it's like, well, fuck it, I'll clean up if I can't later.
Right, just another attempt. You know, another one of those temporary times where you just say, well, I think I'll clean up. And who's to say what'll happen tomorrow?
You know, see, I don't know, it may be the impression I'm giving, you know, that, you know, if I do, if I don't, you know.
If somebody was to ask you, in order to clean up, you got to go downtown and stand on the corner of Broad and Market Street and yell for a crowd and pee on a fire hydrant or something, would you be willing to do that? You know what I'm saying? Is that how important it is for you to clean up?
I never even thought about it that way.
See, that's what I'm trying to do, man. Like, if you think that cleaning up is going to be some haphazard thing that's going to just fall on you, somebody's going to pour a bucket of cleanup on you, that ain't the way it goes down. You have to be, your life is at stake, right? Let's look at it right. Your life, you're dealing with your life, what's yours, the only thing that you really have, you know? And if you look at it like, well, hey, man, I'm going to clean up, I'm going to do something, you ain't going to do a mother thing but stay right out there getting high. You know, you have to be serious. I mean, cold-blooded serious, like cancer.
It's either you really want to stop, you know, or you want to get high.
If something happened to me that depressed me, you know, or something went wrong real bad, then I said, oh, the hell with it, you know, and just went out and got me a little dope. So I want to know how to deal with the reality, the reality of my life. You understand? Because that's one thing I never did, was deal with reality and face up to it.
When you first came here, did you come here with a rap, you know, of what to tell the counselor since you had been here before?
Yeah, I think in my mind I might have decided to, paint a certain type of picture.
Why?
You know? Well, that's what I've always done. That's what I've done wherever I went, you know, whether or not any program.
How did you think that would help you?
Well, see, like, the way I figured is that in any program, any, drug program, see, the people expect you to act in a certain type of manner. They want to find out your attitude. So what attitude do you present? And then you just ask that question and you just, go from there.
Your whole life, your whole total existence was involved around them drugs.
Yeah.
Right? Now that was for, 7, 8 years, 6 years, you said something like that? You've been involved like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we can do. You dig? There's a lot of things we can do. We can't do nothing unless you're very determined.
I thought it was about time that we all got together and sat down and rapped about when a guy comes in here that has a drug problem. We've got probably one of the most difficult roles here on the base, that is counseling people that are hooked, users, experimenters, or what have you on drugs. You and I can sit down and maybe answer some of the questions they got.
We've talked about people that are taking the hard drugs, but we haven't looked at the fact that we are using our medicine cabinet as a storehouse of drugs every day. We're advertising on TV. If you got a headache, take this. If you got something else, take this. The whole society, American society, has been hooked on drugs for a long time. Nobody really wants to admit it. And we understand that the younger people coming in are living in a different society than we are, and I think we've fought the biggest part of the battle.
Yeah. The young people, the why. Why this and why that? And many of us come from the old school. Don't ask me no questions. I don't have the time. You just do it. Just do it. When we have a group of students that are together, hopefully we can let them see or feel the other person's feelings or how the other person sees things, which sometimes is very difficult to do.
With a person that is in fact different, what I mean by different is different background, different feelings inside, cultural, ethnic, or even race. These are feelings that are embedded in someone because of his environment and upbringing, that you are not going to know my feelings because you weren't raised the way I was raised. And for you and I to communicate, there's got to be something else there. We're going to have to get to know each other better.
A young airman comes in and he says, "Look, Sarge, I'd like to rap with you." And because of the lack of communication, the sergeant or whoever he's talking to gets on a defensive. You're not being respectful. These kinds of things. Or the individual may be trying to express himself and constantly get louder. And he is then in trouble. He's a militant. He's not acting right.
On my job, you see, my supervisor, every time I come with him, like, we be talking, he'll tell you what he got to say, and that's it, man. You'll never get to say nothing. Like, every time before I get off on it good, man, he'll end up, all in a roar,
Well, if I was you, Red, this is what I would do. I'd say, look, just let me rap to you for a minute. I want to tell you how I feel about some things that are going on here and a problem I think that we may be having in understanding each other. So this time, this cat has got to give you this time, because if he doesn't, then you can come to me or to someone else and we can go to this cat and say, why won't you give this man a chance to explain himself?
If that guy figures you cares, he'll be able to cut himself open and open up to you and let you know exactly where he's coming from. And until you find that,
there's no way that we're gonna be able to win him over on our side.
That's right. You might have a guy to come in, and it might take 5 visits before you really get to the place where he's comfortable with you and you're comfortable with him.
Yeah, but if we give him the idea that he's just another figure of a person coming in, we don't really care
then
if we get anything on him or not. Then no matter how many visits we have, we're going to might as well forget it.
Do I really want to communicate? I think this is the most important.
I'd like to add something to what the sergeant said, and I think it's really important, my own opinion. Along the same side me about truthful and sincere, is you have to call a spade a spade. In other words, just because someone comes into my office to see me, I'm not going to be able to solve all of his problems. And if I can't, he's going to know that. Why I can't. Maybe there's regulations. Maybe there's policy. Maybe he's wrong. Doesn't necessarily when he comes in to see me, I don't have a magic wand and say, all your troubles are gone, young man. Why didn't you get promoted? I'll tell you why. You've got to lay it on the line. Make him believe it. Make it, show it to him.
Because the coke was pretty good.
Well, see, the way you talk, like you.
I don't know.
Dig this. On one hand, you're telling me, hey, man, that's no way. That shit is no good for me. You understand? I want to back up from it. But then on the other hand, you tell me how good you like to get high.
Yeah, well, I gotta be realistic, man.
Dig this. All right, let's be realistic. Now you done fell and cleaned up how many times since you been using drugs?
I don't.
Right.
7, 8.
So what is this? Just one more time like that? Just one more?
I don't know. I hope it's not, but I can't be sure.
Why can't you, man? What happens if a 6-foot bag of heroin's gonna walk down the street, knock you down, and jump in your vein?
No, but I done said it so many times. You understand? I figure this is my last time. You understand?
You figure? Who controls it, though, brother?
I do.
You have to realize that fact. If you keep thinking that it's up in the air, that you don't have no control over it, how the hell
I don't think it's up in the air. I think
you just said maybe I might
got
clean
control,
up.
but I know I need, I know I need some type of help.
Now, a white counselor here, we've tried before. We've had a few. But where we're located and who we're dealing with, we need identification, you see. We need the same priorities, You have to have the same priority that I have. And if you're white, you can't have the same priority that I have.
Can you help white addicts then?
To a degree.
Can you help them clean up?
I think that it might be possible for me to help them clean up.
Who I am? Just an average guy, goes to work.
You're an average guy? You consider yourself an average guy?
No, not an average guy.
Well, explain to me now.
All right, I consider myself a dope fiend, all right?
What's a dope
fiend? Is that what you want me to say?
I want you to say what's the truth. What's the dope fiend?
You shoots dope who can't control himself,
You can't control yourself?
No, I can't.
Well, what do you expect us to do for you? You say you can't control yourself. What do you expect us to do for you?
Help me.
In what way?
Stop shooting dope.
So what I'm trying to find, how can we help you stop shooting dope? Okay, now let's
Well,
forget
if I'm
it this
helping
way.
myself and somebody else is helping me, maybe I could do it.
You've been through that before, right?
Yeah, man. You gotta keep trying, man.
What do you mean keep trying? That's bullshit, that trying. What are you trying to do?
How many times you're a dopey?
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to
do? To stop.
What are you trying to do? What do you mean by try? What are you trying?
I'm gonna try doing methadone.
I don't understand how you look at it. In cleaning up, it's all your own show. It's up to you to make up your mind.
I made up my mind.
You mean you're trying to make up your mind?
No,
because your mind is made up and you're not going to be no more. You're clean. Right now you're an ex-addict, right? Right? So that's it. You ain't got no more problem.
Do you think you could help them, Valerie?
Wow. To be honest with you, I really didn't know. There was a lot of things, like in what he said, the way he said things, it just wasn't sincerity. He wanted to get high.
The dope don't jump on no ship and come here and find you out and jump in your arm. You seek out the dope. So there ain't no try. You understand what I'm saying? Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Right. Now you're past 21, right? Right? You're not a kid and whatnot. You're a grown man. You have control over your actions, your muscles and shit. So it's not a point of trying. It's a point of determination and motivation.
We know a lot about white people. We've seen them on television. And if you sit home during the day, you'll know about at least 1,500 white families if you go to those soap operas. You dig? We read about them in school ever since kindergarten. When we first learn how to read, we learn about white people, their values, that whole thing. And U's are not that hip to us.
How about honky?
Well, I kind of like Red Fox's definition of a honky, but I won't put that on film. I guess I agree with Sergeant Briggs that it's the white half of the whole dead horse that we're beating here. Anybody that's anti-whatever happens to be going at that time, in this particular case, the white community that's anti-everything else.
Black power, I think, is just a banding together of the people, trying to get all of the black people to get together and get leadership, and just like anybody else. I mean, I can see their point of view, and I believe anybody could if they just stop and look at it.
In many cases, it becomes a irritant to a lot of people because they feel threatened by what the Black Power movement is doing, and this threatens their security. So as a result, there is quite a bit of what shall we say, animosity towards the Black Power group for this reason.
George, how do you think white teachers who see you are going to react to you? You think they'll be threatened by you?
No, they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because all I'm saying is that we need black values, and having black values don't mean hating white people. It just means loving more black people, or loving or being conscious of black more than anything else. It doesn't alienate anybody. You dig? It's just putting an importance on who you are. You know, I'm saying that it's important for me to feel the same way toward another black person as I feel toward myself.
It's like, you know, getting up and going to work. It's what it was for me, doing drugs, smoking grass, popping pills, shooting dope, anything.
How you gonna deal with that?
Well, I'm gonna get the methadone, clean up, you know, come to the meetings here, talk about it, see what I can do to help myself.
Let's forget about the methadone. This is an abstinence program. Methadone's only for the drug doctor.
Right,
let's forget about that. But like in the initial interview with him, I spoke to him out here prior to going in there, and he kept talking about methadone. He wasn't really interested in cleaning up here, you know. But we've all been through here. We've all sat there, and we know the things that cause a person to stay clean. And like regard for someone else is not going to do it. It's got to be regard for oneself. You know, you got to believe that you can do it.
Oh, I know I can do it. You know.
How do you know? You never did it.
Yeah, I did it before.
Well, why are you here now? You clean already.
Before.
Wait, you did what before?
Cleaned up.
Wait, did you clean up or did you just didn't shoot dope for a little while?
All right, I cleaned up for 5.5 months.
You didn't clean up because you didn't shoot dope.
Because
you just didn't shoot dope.
So you didn't clean up. That was you under control.
I sound tell a lady how much it hurts to have a baby. I don't know how much it hurts to have a baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I can get a drug addict, if I get him with another drug addict that has made it, has gotten over, really gotten help, and getting these guys to rap him well along with me, then I can really get to this guy that he knows what you're saying. Because this guy can look at me and say, well, look, you've never tried this. But how are you going to tell me what marijuana's going to do? How are you going to tell me what heroin's going to do?
The thing is, you know, they're playing us black addicts and ex-addicts cheap because our concept has never really been tried. What we have to do is detox from drugs and blacken him right away. You know, as soon as you got his mind, then you got to put black values. You see, you got to look at it like the same thing that hurt you will hurt me.
I'm so glad I've got my own. So glad that I can see.
You know, here, flip, school, job. These are things you're trying to change your old lifestyle, right?
So glad that I can see. My life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. You're something kind of funny. How the man take your money.
So if you're going to really be a counselor, you have to be dedicated. You have to understand why, say, our kids do this, you know.
It's a terrible thing inside. When your natural high.
I believe that it's a drive to get colored leadership in places of importance. I further think that it's a drive to band the colored section of the community together, and here again we try to, well, we vote on what we're doing, and together we survive, divided we fall, this kind of thing.
Has died. The wicked turn to dope and put on the side their hope. And I'm so glad I've got my own, so glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. I'm so glad I've got my own, so glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. I'm so glad I've got my own, so glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. You're something kind of